Hey, this is Ivan with Castle Therapy. You can see behind me, this is I don't know if I should call it an abandoned classroom. This is an unused classroom in a school I go out to because I wanted to talk to you about school accommodations. I was on the phone last night with somebody who'd been to a previous presentation that I'd done, and he's worried about his daughter who's going to a new charter school and was very, very overwhelmed. She had some concerns with sensory processing that made things very, very hard for her, and she has some high anxiety. So she showed up to this classroom, and Dad said she made it about half an hour before it was too much, and she needed to leave. She couldn't take it, and that she has not been back in days, which is super sad for having a student that's trying to get to a new school. And so we started talking about, well, how do we make this easier for a child who has sensory processing concerns and also has high anxiety because of that, as well as some other reasons. What are some accommodations that we can look at to help with the transition into school? And the first thing that I thought of was, okay, so anytime that any of us have any change that happens in our lives, that is harder for us to process. It takes more energy. It takes more concentration to be able to figure out and process. If we go on a trip, if we take a vacation, if we visit a family member, even just those small little changes in our routine. Where do I get ready? Where do I brush my teeth at night? Where am I going to put my clothes to get dressed? Where am I going to eat? What's the kitchen like? What's the food situation like? Any of those little tiny things add up and can be more overwhelming. Most of us do fine with it, but it does take more energy to be able to process. So if we have somebody who has a hard time processing anyways, and then we add in these extra elements of change, going to a new school, it's going to be very, very hard to process. So first thing, hey, can we get the teacher or one of the office staff or the principal or whoever it is to give this student a tour of the building, but let's not have the other students there. Can we do it early in the morning? Can we do it at the end of the day so that the number of people is severely limited? She walked into this classroom and it was full of kids, and while we might think, oh, hey, it's a nice classroom, just that amount of increased stimuli can be very, very overwhelming. Hey, okay, so let's cut out as much stimuli as we can. Let's give her a tour. These are the things to expect. This is where you're going to walk. This is where the bathroom is. This is where we're going to go for lunch. This is where you're going to hang up your coat. This is where your backpack goes. This is where your seat is. And speaking of seats, I had a discussion about, okay, so what is the best spot for this child to sit in? Sometimes that might be the very, very front of the classroom. We cut out all the back of the classroom. I don't have to look at it. I don't have to see it. I might still hear it. There's going to be kids behind me. The student in past years has been seated in the back, so maybe that's her comfort, because then she doesn't feel like there are people behind her and she doesn't have to worry about what's going on behind her, so she can see what's going on in front. And that might be more comfortable. Everybody's going to be a little bit different. Are there breaks that the student can take? If I'm feeling overwhelmed, can I give some sort of a signal to the teacher, to another staff member that, hey, I need a short little break. I need to go on a walk. I need to go down to a room where I can get some compression, or there's different textures. I can feel something that is calming and organizing for that student. Can I get some input to calm down and then return to the classroom? And what is my desk like? Are there changes to the seating that I can use? Can I use a T-stool, which is a chair on a single peg that has a platform, either a bar, or I've created some that are circles and the student can sit on there. And it's like one of those old milking stools where your legs actually form the other two legs of the chair, so that you have to focus on balance. And it gives a bit more input back to the body so that you are moving and continuing to get input, which can help calm down your mind and your system. If you're sitting in a regular chair, can you put some sort of a band across the front leg so that you have something to kick against with your feet, but it doesn't make a lot of noise, it's not really disruptive? Or are there other textures or other fidgets that are appropriate for the classroom that the student can have that they find calming? Sometimes it's as simple as a certain fabric texture, and they can just keep in their pocket or keep in their desk, and they can just feel it, rub it. Maybe it's you know, whatever it be. Maybe it's something that attaches to the pencil. Maybe it looks like a pencil grip, and it just is something that's calming and reassuring to the student. So those are some ideas. I hope that this video was helpful. I hope that if you have students that are having a hard time in your class, certainly look for help. I have a Facebook page, Castle Therapy. I will continue to post videos on this channel. Thank you.